we will ensure that teachers benefit from enhanced access to NHT loans and are given priority in housing allocations in NHT finance schemes. We will remove all taxes on laptops and tablets for students and teachers.
Major Dvnce presents to you Heart of the World. This prolific album is both inspiring and uplifting. It captures the pain and joy of the people while advocating for rights and justice with tracks like Your Pain, No Mining, Warning, and title track Heart of the World. Play Jam Music by purchasing or streaming the Heart of the World album on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and all digital platforms. Heart of the World by Major Dvnce, produced by Jam Music Enterprise and Seiveright Studio.
Rasta no mix up in a violence. We no speak them nonsense. I be free up me conscience. You'll still say I'm evidence will. Rasta no mix up in a violence. We no speak them nonsense. I be free up with conscience. Rastafari am evidence, some too deceptive. And on the other hand, they want to be receptive. So we have to make this move decisive. Because we don't spot them objective. Them get caught because of their own negligence. Between we and them a lot of difference. ABR no mix up in a violence. We no speak them nonsense. We have a free up with conscience. Rastafari are we evidence.
Bless up, ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Isabel Rose. And in this one, the House of Senate has approved a bill to establish a Jamaica Teaching Council that could see teachers being licensed to only practice one subject. If found in breach, could face prison time and some hefty fines. We see the opposition, Senator Damian Crawford, pushing back against that, asking if this is in support of teachers or punishing teachers. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. A big shout out goes to Wisdom Sheldon. Thank you so much for coming on board and joining the ABR family by subscribing to the channel. You too can get a shout out. All you have to do is comment in the comment section and let me know that you have subscribed to the channel. On the road to 30K, help me to get there. So what we have here, ABR family, is the government basically have been contemplating since February 2022 to have teachers being licensed. And if any teachers are found to be practicing or teaching without a license, could be fined up to $500,000. And back in that time, it came under heavy criticism, where the president of the JTA, Winston Smith at the time, was concerned about the fees to be paid by teachers for registering and licensing. He said the fees could escalate to satisfy the funding requirements of the entity. They also looked at it as almost a crucifixion. And so fast forward to now, we've seen on April 25th, the House of Senate has basically passed that bill to establish the JTC, that's the Jamaica Teachers Council, which will regulate the profession and issue licenses. Education Minister Dana Morris Dixon piloted the bill. The Jamaica Teaching Council bill proposes the introduction of provisions that distinguish between registered licensed and authorized teachers. It will introduce a fit and proper requirement including criminal background checks for people seeking to enter the teaching profession. It will also provide special pathways for skilled professionals without traditional training credentials to receive temporary authorization to teach. Regarding penalties, offenses related to the unauthorized teaching or misrepresented will incur fines of up to $500,000 to $1.5 million or a term of imprisonment not exceeding 12 months. And so coming up in this segment, you will hear from Damian Crawford, basically, asking what do they mean with some of what they outline in that bill? And that if it's a punishment towards our teachers who are overworked and underpaid.
We are concerned that in general the bill seems more punitive than supportive. Yeah. Punitive means focus on punishment rather than on support. What are some of the basic reasons we suggest that it is more punitive than supportive? Heavy fines and even imprisonment for unlicensed teaching. We'll get further into that a little bit later. Up to 1.5 million or 12 months in jail. There are way more dangerous activities that don't carry such a fine, including dangerous driving. Vague criteria such as competent to teach and fit and proper have not been defined. No guaranteed legal aid for teachers under investigation, etc. There's also no built-in access to the continuous professional development. While it is requested, I see nothing in the bill that suggests how it would be paid for. No emphasis on mentorship, and teachers must basically prove their worth repeatedly. Therefore, the Act, I believe, doesn't sufficiently support good teachers. We see a term within the bill say, be competent to teach. This is an undefined standard, what it means to be competent to teach. Section 28(1)(b), licensing requires a person to, and I quote, be competent to teach. But the Act does not define competence, leaves interpretation up to the council for future regulations. Undefined standard is a potential for arbitrary enforcement. No clarity on what competence means. Teacher could be denied a license or renewal without misconduct, just on the basis of a perception of competence to teach. May target outspoken educators, and it may also target persons in failing schools. For example, could competence be the grades that you are getting, the averages that you're producing? And a teacher could always say that based on the realities of my school, for example, recently I saw in the news, again for the concern expressed by Senator Golding, I won't call the name of the school, but you would have seen in the news where one school had a literacy rate, a secondary school, of almost 210 out of 212. What? They had to do intervention. They're trying an intervention now in that school at the 7th grade. However, when I was reading the article, what struck me was the principal said, but the 8th grade have the same reality last year, 7th grade. So that teacher might say, how do you hold me accountable for my competence to teach can be measured by a input of incompetence? I mean, and a lot of us celebrate some schools. I went to the Kingston College, the great Kingston College. But KC get better crop of students than many other schools that we're better than. And KC get great alumni support. And KC get better parents as it relates to economic capacity and interest. And a lot of times these are double parent homes. And a lot of times they are competent in jobs that earn them sufficient income. So I can tell you from my own experience as a teacher, I taught at a school, 53 children in the class. They had no geometry set. They had no calculator. They had no book. First of all, the 40 minutes you had to teach, 10 minutes was to find a desk or a chair. They had to go to the class that went to PE or went to lab to find a desk and a chair, because I had them after they had lab. And when you save that 10 minutes, they had no books. Going into exam now, some schools haven't received rental books. What? All their rental books. Yes, persons have asked for 35, received 7. And this is the reality that we face. Wow. So when you have these situations, how does that teacher be judged by the outcome in the reality? First of all, they have done lunch. I make the joke all the time that when he said the area of a circle is pi or square, him stuck a pi. R square means nothing to him. Because he must say, is it pecan, is it apple? He has no lunch. I've been to another school, 10 o'clock teaching maths, his head is on the decks. Why is our head on the decks? Research have shown that many of our girls have iron deficiency. That once their menstrual thing have started and they're not eating proper meals, them basically lethargic for the entire day. How do you judge that teacher? So when you see this, I think that it allows for the sneaking in of the performance-based pay without the discussion of the performance-based pay.
And I find it very alarming. As Damien outlined, there are many more things that has been taking place in the country, taking people's lives. He mentioned even the whole driving. Over 100 and odd persons died since the start of the year until now in a motor vehicle accident. And if you're found to be driving without a license, then I believe that fine is 40,000 Jamaican dollars. So why are they giving the teachers such a hard time? Why do they sit down and craft legislation for other sectors of workers and not for themselves? Why they don't fix more fines to the Integrity Commission's penalty aspect of the law? And those who are found to be illicitly enrich themselves, them get a hefty fine and prison time as well. Why is only other sectors of work when the politicians are supposed to be held to a higher standard? What it is that they don't like about teachers? No wonder why they allowed our teaching sector to run down so bad and our children are doing so poorly in their exams. When Jamaica used to be the creme de la creme. What is really going on under a government like this? Teachers, I hope that you all are looking on and hearing some of what is in this bill. Now I want you to listen to a snippet of what the opposition leader, Mark Golding, has outlined for you in his whole budget presentation. Just a snippet. And let me know in the comment section, any teachers on here or anybody at all, which government really cares for our people and cares whether or not our children learn, yes or no.
We will ensure that teachers receive student debt reductions and motor vehicle concessions at levels that increase with their years of service in the teaching profession. We will ensure that teachers benefit from enhanced access to NHT loans and are given priority in housing allocations in NHT finance schemes. We will remove all taxes on laptops and tablets for students and teachers. And we will negotiate package deals to provide teachers with free internet service as a tool of their trade.
That's right.
And since we're on the whole topic of licenses, I would love for this government to basically change the years of how they have the nursing profession being licensed. The every 2-year thing and the criteria behind it to get 25 nursing hours and 5 non-nursing hours. One could have climbed up the whole relicensing to at least 5 years. The nurses, the midwives, and other staff who has to be licensed would love that. Anyways, ABR family, drop your comments in the comment section. Let me you wanna say. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 30K and beyond. Help me to get there. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself.